Good morning, everyone! As you can tell from what is behind me, I'm here with the majority of my nut butters, and I thought I would do a taste test of all of them with some oatmeal that I made this morning. Since most people like to eat nut butter with oatmeal, so instead of having my usual breakfast bake, I'm going to have oatmeal instead. So I organized them into, these are like the protein butters, and these are the non-protein nut butters. I'll rate all of them in terms of taste and consistency, texture. I don't think I can really do consistency because as you know, I like to have the oil separate from the bottom so that when I eat the nut butters, I'm only eating the thick part, because then I usually eat nut butters with yogurt or like pumpkin puree. So I like the thick part because it's more like, it's less slimy, and it's sort of weird to eat the slimy part if you're not eating it with the oatmeal. But when I first opened them, I did have the normal consistency, so I can give you a rating based on what I remember. So let's get started. I know this doesn't count as like a protein nut butter, and I've talked about it a lot. The consistency of this one is extremely liquidy as long as you mix it. It's only one ingredient, roasted almonds, no salt, no sugar. Just take a bit. This just definitely gets a 10 out of 10. Out of all of these nut butters, even though they're also fancy, this one is still my favorite. If you're new to nut butters, or new to the nut butter world, this is the one to start with. And this is from Costco. Next up, we also have the Trader Joe's Crunchy Almond Butter. I also have this new version, but I didn't open that one yet. And this one is sort of different because it contains less than 1% of dry roasted cashew. So I guess that 1% really contributes to differing the taste. But a lot of people recommended the crunchy one. This one doesn't have salt. I think the salt one might taste different. It doesn't have as much of the pureness as the pure almond butter, and I think I'm definitely more of a smooth person because the crunchy bits sort of get in your teeth. So I'll give this a 9.5 out of 10, personal preference. Now we'll get into the actual protein nut butter section. So the first one I have is from the Lion's Choice, and this is the, now it's called the Lion's Pack. This is the French toast peanut butter, and the consistency of these ones is pretty interesting. Like, it's not smooth because you can see chunks of peanut, and it's like all chunks of peanuts. It's just chunks of peanuts, but they're very small, and they're kind of in this viscous liquid. Not a liquid, just a viscous oil. No. The French toast flavor is not my favorite, and it doesn't taste bad. It just tastes like a normal peanut butter. It doesn't taste like French toast. I think that's another problem with a lot of nut butters. They have fancy names, but they don't actually taste like that. So I'll give you comments on that as well. 6.5 out of 10. Next one, like the label is kind of gone, but this is the Lion's Choice Birthday Cake peanut butter. Has the same consistency as the rest of them, and I definitely like this flavor more. It's kind of almost out as well. I was saving the last bit for this video. And the Lion's Choice ones are nice because apparently they're filled with like superfoods and probiotics. This one has a much fresher taste. In terms of the birthday cake, I don't think it tastes like birthday cake, but it definitely doesn't taste like an average peanut butter. It tastes like very sort of vanilla-y. 7.5 out of 10. Now we're moving on to the buff bake ones, and I didn't buy all of these. I won the buff bake ones in a giveaway, so that's why there's all of them. First up is the white chocolate, and at first when I got these, I was very confused about the difference between the white chocolate, red velvet, and the chocolate spread. But I realized the white chocolate one, it has a more creamy, like milky taste. The chocolate chip one has a much more defined chocolate flavor, and the red velvet it's just something in between. And all of the buff bake ones, they have a taste, like I think it's the type of whey that they use. They just have, like all the protein nut butters, depending on the brand, they have a certain taste. And the texture of all the buff bake ones is sort of gritty. Depends if you like that. Like sometimes it feels like you can taste the sugar crystals, but otherwise if you stir it well, it's pretty creamy. White chocolate. As long as you get used to the protein taste, at first I didn't like it, but gradually I kind of got accustomed to it, and I relatively like it now. In terms of rating it only in the buff bake section, the white chocolate one is probably my third favorite maybe. As overall, I would give this a 8 out of 10. Next up we have the chocolate chip butter. I used this in cookies once, and it was really delicious. This one tastes like it has melted chocolate in it, which is a good thing. It tastes okay with oats. I think it would taste better with like a banana. 8.5 out of 10. I like this one equally with the white chocolate one. I used to like this one better, but I'm starting to like this one better. Next up is the red velvet. I think this one is a bit creamier. This one is pretty average. Like, if you're deciding on which chocolate one to get out of these three, you can either, if you're really like into chocolate, I'd recommend this one. If you're really into white chocolate, I would get this one. If you're somewhere in between, I would get this one. It's 7.5 out of 10. I also have the cinnamon raisin one, and this one used to be my favorite. I used to always eat it with my oats, although I don't like raisins. Yeah, the cinnamon raisin flavor is actually really good in this one. I would give it an 8.5 out of 10. This is my least favorite of the peanut butter ones. It's the pumpkin spice one. Still completely full, and I had it once and it was just unpleasant, but I will try it again. Like, the pumpkin spice is kind of bitter. Maybe since my oats are pumpkin-y, it will taste better. I don't like it. Maybe you'll like it. It's not as bad as I remembered, it's just not favorable. Next up, we have the Snickerdoodle. I'm gonna say this does not taste like Snickerdoodle. It does not taste like a Snickerdoodle cookie, although their Snickerdoodle cookie that they make, like the protein cookies, does taste like a Snickerdoodle cookie. This one just tastes like a regular almond butter, but less pure, more gritty. 7 out of 10. The problem with the buff-baked ones, they sort of tend to like stick to your teeth with like the little like gritty things. Next up, we have the cookie almond butter. I thought this was going to be something similar to a cookie butter, but it's more like a chocolatey almond butter because it does have the chocolate chips in it. So it's not really cookie butter, it's just chocolate almond butter. It's pretty average. I'll give it like a 6.5 out of 10. Next up is the birthday cake. A lot of people like this one because it actually tastes like birthday cake, like a lot better than the Lion's Choice. It has a very unique taste. Like if you smell it, it's not like lemony like the Fit Crunch birthday bars, but it actually has that hint of like birthday cakeness. I wouldn't say fruitiness, just like a very, very sweet vanilla taste. And I guess that's what a birthday cake is. 8.5 out of 10 because it does a good job of the flavor, but it's not like my personal favorite. Okay, I think this is my least favorite along with the pumpkin spice. It's the coffee bean almond butter, and it has like little coffee granules inside, but it's just unpleasant. It's also full and I don't like it at all. It's extremely bitter as well. I'll give this like a 1 out of 10. Next up, we have our nuts and more. I think people like it because it's relatively lower in fat and higher in protein. This is the salted caramel. And I think salted caramel and toffee crunch are their most popular flavors. I think they taste pretty similar. And the consistency, well, it's obviously separated, but these are like very, very smooth and well blended. However, in the jars that I've gotten, sometimes you can taste the crystals of, what do they use? The birch xylitol. It can be like, it's fun to sort of chew on the, like bite the sugar crystals in half, but it's also bad if you want something that's a bit smoother. Yeah, I actually really like these. It doesn't really taste like salted caramel. So I would give this one an 8.5 out of 10. Next is Toffee Crunch. I think I used to like Toffee Crunch more than salted caramel when I first tried it. I think this one tends to have less, I don't know what it does. They all have the little sugar crystals. Like if you just look at the bottom of the jar, you can see them. I definitely like this one more than the salted caramel. This one is more buttery, and it does have the toffee flavor. So I really enjoy that. 9 out of 10. Lastly, we have the sesame cran butter. People think it's underrated. It has like sesame seeds and the cranberries, but I don't like cranberries, so I also just pick them out. It's a very unique combination. Like I didn't know sesame cran butter was a thing. But I like sesame seeds, so it's an interesting combination. I wouldn't say I'm wild about it, but it's also not bad. 8 out of 10. So out of all the nuts and more ones, Toffee Crunch is my fave. Okay, next up we have these naturals, and for these ones, it's the brownie batter and Tuscan tiramisu brownie batter. This is an almond butter and this is a peanut butter, and these are all vegan ones and they use pea protein. So as I was saying how all of the brands have their own taste because they use different proteins, this one has a more pea, not like peas, it just has, how would I describe it? It's more planty, like grassy. It doesn't taste like grass, but it just tastes more nutty. Even though it's a nut, obviously it's a nut, but it has a distinct taste. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like a very satisfying taste that I like. So for the brownie batter one, it doesn't taste like brownie batter. If you have the vanilla maple frosting one, this is probably my favorite along with the s'mores flavor. This one just tastes like a chocolate version of this. 8 out of 10. And they all have it extremely creamy, like extremely creamy. Probably even creamier than the Costco almond butter. It's just so smooth and like very pretty. And this is the Tuscan tiramisu. It doesn't taste bad, it just has a strange taste. It doesn't taste like tiramisu either. I don't know what the Tuscan is for, but I would give this one a 6.5 out of 10. And this is the vanilla almond butter. This is a new jar, so I haven't opened it, but I've gone through these very fast. and I think this is one of their most popular flavors and everyone really loves it. It doesn't have a maple flavor, but it kind of has the consistency of a frosting, and it's sort of vanilla-y. I'd give it a 9.5 out of 10. So if you're new to these naturals, I would recommend either the vanilla one or creamy s'mores. Do you smell it? It just has a, like if you smell pea protein, it just smells like that. And the consistency is like extremely smooth and amazing. It also doesn't taste like s'mores, but it has a very fluffiness. It kind of has the fluffiness of marshmallows. You don't really get the peanut part. I don't think you would be able to tell that it's peanut butter. I would give this one a 9 out of 10. I also really love this flavor. It's salted caramel. It actually tastes like salted caramel, unlike the nuts and more kind. This one pairs really good with oats. I used to have this every day with my oatmeal. Like, it has a bright taste. 9.5 out of 10. Next is Legendary Foods. This one is not exactly a protein peanut butter, but it's kind of circling in that community of like the fitness community on Instagram. I've also had the pecan one, the pecan pie one in like the little jar. And the thing I like about Legendary Foods is they're actually very extremely true to flavor. Look, it has like, I usually don't like dried blueberries, but oh my god, it just smells like Cinnabon. Like if you walk past a Cinnabon in the US in a mall, this is what it tastes, this is what it smells like. Plus blueberries, like Cinnabon plus a blueberry muffin. I guess that's what it is. Yeah, blueberry cinnamon bun. Like, I just smell this forever. I wish I had like a candle that was this flavor. Some people like to say it has a doughy consistency, and I would agree that it does. I used to have like a big spoonful of this with my yogurt at night, but I think it only tastes good in small amounts, because if you eat like a lot of it at once or you don't pair it with something, it starts to get extremely doughy and less pleasant than if you just had, you know, a small bite. I think if you mixed it well when you first opened it, it would have a more creamy consistency. It looks very smooth, but when you taste it, you can taste very small chunks of cashews. So this one, 10 out of 10. Moving on to our non-protein nut butters. First up, we have the Naturally More hazelnut chocolate spread, and they come in these nice squeeze packs. So I like to take these when I'm traveling and just like, you know, suck on them. It's new, so I'm not gonna open it, but it's like super delicious. It doesn't exactly taste like Nutella, but because Nutella's a bit overwhelmingly sweet, but this is like a very good job of copying like the whole chocolate hazelnut thing. It's very smooth and creamy and liquidy as long as you knead it well, but there are like pieces of flax, like just flax seeds, whole flax seeds inside, which is a bit weird if you don't like to have the flax seeds stuck in your teeth. But otherwise, I would give this like a 9.8 out of 10. Next up, we have our Wild Friends. So what I'm gonna try is the sugar cookie. And this one, the Wild Friends ones are all very creamy and smooth if you mix them well, but I didn't. The thing with the sugar cookie one, it doesn't taste like a sugar cookie. It's actually, like for a sugar cookie, I would imagine it to be more light and vanilla-y, but this one tastes like it has cinnamon and coconut, but it tastes more heavy and comforting because it's like the seasonal edition. It tastes more like a cinnamon, but it doesn't have that snickerdoodleness. It's just a more cinnamony cinnamon cookie, like sort of like a cookie butter, but not entirely. Like it's still a peanut butter. 8 out of 10. Then we have the other seasonal flavor, which is the gingerbread peanut butter. And I think this one only tastes good when you pair it with things that are related to gingerbread things, like this peanut butter oatmeal. I used to have it with my pumpkin pancakes. I think in order to like this one, you have to really like gingerbread, because the gingerbread flavor, like the gingerbread spices, they're extremely strong. If you have too much, it can be a bit bitter, but I don't think it's a bad thing. I made cookies with this one, so if you made cookies with them, it would taste really good. The gingerbread is very, very accurate. 8.5 out of 10. So we have the 2 pumpkin spice ones, and the chocolate chip pumpkin spice peanut butter is my favorite Wild Friends flavor so far. Like when you first open it, there's chunks of chocolate chips, but they melted, so as you begin to stir the oil and the bottom part together, they just incorporate into this super creamy mixture. So the color of this one is darker than the normal pumpkin spice butter, you can see. But this one is so much richer and just perfect. I love it. So good with the oats. And I really like the pumpkin spice of this one because it's not overpowering. And I feel like sometimes if you try to make pumpkin spice plus chocolate, or you try to combine 2 flavors, it's hard to distinguish one from the other, or like the chocolate flavor gets lost. But this one you can actually still taste the chocolatiness and the pumpkin spice. This one gets 10 out of 10. This is the pumpkin spice one. This one has a stronger flavor of the peanut butter, probably gets a 8.5 out of 10. Moving on to the Kalat Superfood Nut Butters. This one is the blueberry, cinnamon, and walnuts. And I really like the Kalat ones because they're not your average like flavor, like vanilla chocolate. They have interesting fruit and nut combinations, and they're not just one type of nut. Like this one has the almond butter and walnuts, even though you can't really taste the walnuts. I think I really like blueberry muffin things because this one, along with the legendary food one, they just remind me of a blueberry muffin or like blueberry Christmas. It's just so comforting. It's like a spiced blueberry muffin. It doesn't have the cinnamon, like bakery sort of blueberry muffin taste, but the spice of this one is spiced very well. 9.8 out of 10. Next we have the fruit and cashew butter, white chocolate, strawberries, and chia seeds. And this one, if you smell it, it smells like strawberry jam. So if you like strawberry jam, then this one's for you. It kind of has the creaminess of the white chocolate, but it doesn't taste like white chocolate if you just sit and eat like a white chocolate bar. But I can't really taste the hazelnut or almond butterness of this one, but if you like coffee, then I think you would like it more than I do. So I give it a 6.5 out of 10. Next up we have the Reginald's homemade nut butters, and this one is the cashew vanilla cashew butter. I think this is just like their regular cashew butter, just with a bit of vanilla. At first I wasn't accustomed to the taste of cashew butter because I never had cashew butter before. It just tastes like your typical cashew butter. Not very vanilla beany. I give this one a 8 out of 10. And their other cashew butter is cinnamon molasses. I'm also running out of this one because they're quite good actually. I like this one more because I mean, if you just wanted a cashew butter, you could just go buy like cashew butter from Costco, and I'm pretty sure it would taste pretty similar to this one. But at least this one has the molasses and ground cinnamon flavor. It's not as pronounced as like a cinnamon molasses kind of flavor, but you do get a hint of the spice. So I would give this one a 8 out of 10. Did I give this one? I forget. I give this like 0.5 higher than what I gave this one. Next up we have this is their peanut butters. It's the Bourbon Pecan Peanut Butter. When I first opened it, it had like chunks of pecans. Like the peanut butter is smooth, it just has the chunky pecan bits. I'm also not sure what bourbon tastes like. I think the pecans add a nice flavor, but if you don't eat the pecan bit, it sort of tastes like your normal peanut butter. It don't really taste like bourbon, which I think is like alcohol. Peanut butter is pretty good. Like if I was just to rate it as like compared to other peanut butters, so I'd give this one a 7.5 out of 10. This one's hiding. It's the Wedding Pretzel Crunch Peanut Butter, and this one has chunks of pretzels in it. Okay, even though these two are both peanut butters, this one has a deeper peanut butter flavor, and this one is a bit more bright and surprising, I guess, because that's what weddings are for. Moving on to our Nutso, and Nutso is one of my favorite brands because like the flavor is just so good. Right now I don't have them because we ate them all, but I had the original creamy, original crunchy, also the peanut creamy, and this is the very, very old, I am very like nut butter hoarder, chocolate Nutso. I got this last year I think, but I've been saving it ever since because I just love it. The thing with the Nutso butters, it's the crunchy one and the smooth one. They have, even though they're made with the same nuts, they have a different flavor, which I think is really awesome. And their crunchy is not exactly crunchy, it just has like all the seeds dispersed inside. I just love this one. I'd say like 10 out of 10 for taste. Texture, if you're used to the crunchy, and also just nutrition-wise, it has all of your nuts in it. And if you're allergic to peanuts, this one's for you. I also like how the jar is upside down. And next up, we have the chocolate one. This one, right now it's pretty hard, but if you microwave it, it will smoothen or like melt a bit because of the chocolate inside. And this one pretty much tastes like a chocolate version of the smooth one of this. I think like all of the Nutso ones you can't go wrong. Like the peanut one, if you don't really like peanut butter, I would recommend the Nutso brand because it does taste, it has the peanut taste, but it's not so pronounced. Because I know sometimes the peanut butter can have a strange like peanutty taste. Like it's not a nut. It has like, it's not as pure as almond butter. Here we go. I know this is like 10 out of 10. Also, I'm running out of battery, but really quickly, this is the Nicolata chocolate hazelnut spread, and this one has like more. This one is more similar to Nutella in terms of the texture and like macros. But it's organic. They also have a dairy-free version. This is the Trader Joe's mixed nut butter, and this is it's a mixed nut butter similar to the nutso, but nutso has its own unique flavor, and this one it tastes more like an almond butter mixed with other nuts, but not a bad thing. And this one is like extremely creamy, like no matter how much you don't mix it. This one also gets a 10 out of 10. I really, really love this one. Next time you're at Trader Joe's, pick this one up. I think this one is cheaper than the nutso. We have our lovely coconut butter. I think one time I tried to microwave it so it would smoothen, but then it ended up turning the whole thing brown. I think it burnt inside of the microwave, but then it has like a nice toasted flavor now, like a roasted coconut. I usually don't eat this one actually, but try it anyways. Super creamy and like super rich. It tastes like, well, I guess it is coconut oil. It tastes like coconut oil but in like white chocolate form. It doesn't taste like chocolate, but it's just so rich and creamy. I'll give this one a 9.5 out of 10. And lastly, we have this one, which I haven't opened yet. But it's the naturally nutty peanut butter chocolate butter toffee. I'm gonna try it real quick. Yeah, it's completely full. It smells sort of like the Reginald's nut butter. So let's give this a quick try. This one actually tastes pretty similar to the Buff Bake cinnamon raisin peanut butter. I don't think it tastes very chocolate butter toffee. I think the Nuts and More does a better job at the toffee flavor. I'll give this one a 7.5 out of 10. Okay, that's all for now. I actually have a bunch of other nut butters, but they're kind of just the almond butter, cashew butter, peanut butter, like the Woodstock brand, and some PB Fits. Also like a bunch of cookie butters. Cookie butters is really good, but I eat it occasionally because it's not gluten-free, so I eat it with like an enzyme to help me digest it better. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching this nut butter collection. I think I'll do some more nut butter reviewing because it's sort of hard to review nut butters if you don't taste it, but now I get to clean up all of these. So if you guys enjoyed watching this video, give it a thumbs up, comment down below what your favorite nut butter is. I'm always like excited to try new nut butters. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!